Yeah, presidential election stuff is crazy. You know, I'm glad we can come here and calm down, forget about that, listen to some jokes. Psych, all my jokes are about the debate. Screw you. I don't care. You know, I already voted for Biden, but you know, type of guy I am, I got to listen to Trump, listen to what he has to say. And if he makes a good point, I'll admit that he made a good point. And he made a great point in the debate last night. People were talking about how he handled the COVID-19 pandemic. They said he didn't handle it well. And he said, he brought up swine flu, which is a great point because swine flu was another pandemic, happened under the Obama administration, had 5% as many deaths as COVID-19. And after a few months, everything was back to normal. Oh, maybe that wasn't a good point at all. It's actually a terrible point. Actually, kind of points out how much worse he is at being the president. But you know, he explained it a little bit better than that because he said that he gave a reason why fewer people died. He said the only reason, if it had been more deadly, more people would have died. You can't argue with that logic. I think you could go even further. You could say if more people had died, the death toll would have been higher, which is something to think about. But I was wondering, you know, he said if more people died, you know, more people would have died. But exactly how many people would have died if more people had died? You see, he gave a specific number. Thank you, Trump. He said, if the numbers were the same between swine flu and COVID-19, 700,000 people would have died of swine flu. It's interesting. I would have thought that if the numbers were the same, then they would be the same. I don't know if that's just my interpretation there, but Trump makes a good point because like we're all worried about what happened, but he's saying if things were different than what they are, then I would be right. But some people are not happy about the debates. Like I'll give you an example. I looked at this video on Fox News, this random Fox News story on YouTube, and the top comment. This is verbatim what it said. It said, "Hey media, we want Donald Trump and Joe Biden to debate on Joe Rogan. We want unedited, unscripted, 2-3 hour debates." Okay, I'm no expert on the media, but I feel like I don't think that anybody in the media answers to the name media. It's kind of like walking up to a farm and saying, "Hey, agriculture, we want more tomatoes." And start calling Canadian bacon Canadian ham because that's what it is. But I was wondering, why do people want Joe Rogan to host a debate? A lot of people want this, actually. And I looked this up. Joe Rogan, if you don't know, he's a very popular podcaster, comedian, and former mixed martial artist. So I looked up why do people want him to host the debate. I found an article why he should host the debate, Joe Rogan, because he's more familiar with important cultural topics in the cultural climate, such as cancel culture, which is the most important issue facing America today.
No, it isn't.
If cancel culture is at the top of your list of national problems, we might be living in different years. But I've seen a lot of people in YouTube comments complaining about cancel culture. They're very concerned about it. Very concerned. Cancel culture is something that happens to the most famous and important of people. They can get canceled and people stop listening to what they have to say. I got bad news. If you're commenting on a YouTube video, people already aren't listening to you. Thinking that someday you might get canceled, very optimistic. But there's more big issues Joe Rogan knows about. He also knows about the culture war. You guys hear about this culture war? The culture war? It's the war that we're in. It's a war. It's a war of culture. It's the culture war. There's two sides. Everyone's on one side or the other. America's in a culture war. You're on one side. There's no overlap. You got to have a side. You get no choice. There's two sides. I'll tell you what the two sides are. The two sides are hardworking racists and gay elites. Everybody's one or the other. I don't make the rules. If you're from California, you're a gay elite. If you're from Texas, you're a hardworking racist. If you support Black Lives Matter, you're a gay elite. If you don't wear a mask, you're a hardworking racist. That's how it is. If you're hardworking, you're racist. If you're gay, you're an elite. If you're an elite, you can't be racist, and if you're racist, you definitely can't be gay. Those are the rules. Most of the people at Tufts University, I'd say gay elites, unless you're one of those like dudes with like one of those golf visors and like a salmon shirt. For some reason they fall to the other side of the spectrum.